January. If you don't allow God to confront your past one day is going to confront you. Esau's coming. Reverend Lee Claypool. Chapter 1. You know trouble ain't catchin'. Ruby Tagle's dark eyes flicked in her granddaughter's direction. Nobody's going to sneeze and give it to you or your Theodore. Did you hear your grandmother, Maxine? Vivian Owen stood on her toes and stretched to retrieve a small jar from the kitchen cabinet. It skittered away to the far end of the shelf. Yes, ma'am, I heard Mama Ruby, but I never said I thought trouble was contagious. Maxine smiled a little as she hopped down from the stool. She reached up and set the glass container on the counter. At 5'6", Maxine had her mother by 3 inches by her estimation, the only way she outmatched her. Yes, Vivian, the girl never said she thought trouble was contagious. Roy Tagle opened the pimentos with a pop and handed them to his sister. Mother arched an eyebrow at her younger brother. I don't need none of y'all to tell me what she said. My ears are working just fine. You see, I listen like a mama, not an uncle. She spooned sweet peppers into the bowl in front of her. Now, Maxine, you've been having these crazy dreams for weeks now, ever since you set that appointment with Theodore's pastor. You just need to sit down somewhere. In other words, calm down. But Maxine couldn't calm down. She'd met Theodore in September, right after he'd relocated from New Orleans to Mount Laurel. Only God's hand could have directed him to that North Carolina crossroads of Eastern and Lexington-style barbecue. He proposed on a chilly December night at the end of a cooking class led by Manna, the Tagles catering company. As Ruby pulled out the mini chocolate souffle with a joyful voila that sounded more like Deep South than South of France, Teddy had dropped to one knee, to no one's shock but Maxine's. He toasted her with a crystal flute filled with semi-sweet chocolate, topped off with a 1-carat diamond. Now, 6 weeks later, sporting her emerald-cut ring, she was in her mother's kitchen, dizzy from her whirlwind romance and its effect on her life, a life it had taken her 13 years to rebuild, and only a yes to blast to smithereens. Again. It's not that simple, Mother. I can't just tell my heart to obey and expect it to fall in line. But you can control that mind of yours. Think on the truth and stop running around here like Chicken Little. The sky isn't falling on you just because your friends separated. What happened to them isn't going to happen to you and Theodore. Isn't that right? Vivian looked to Mama Ruby as she stirred the potato salad, using one pink-gloved hand to hold on to the bowl. Ruby nodded. I didn't say it was, Mother. To mask the shiver snaking through her, Maxine moved her shoulders to the gospel beat of the Jackson's Southern airs, crooning from the Bluetooth speaker. She wished she could blame her chill on the clouds cloaking the pale blue sky, but she knew it had nothing to do with the 20-degree temperatures, unusual for North Carolina. The 3 women had been going back and forth for over an hour, since Maxine had shown up on her mother's doorstep, holding her box of silk chrysanthemums. The thought breaks my heart that Evelyn didn't talk to me about what she was going through. I thought she was spending the summer helping her grandmother, not running away from her husband. Mother's spoon clinked against the side of the bowl. Then I take it you've told her all about what you're going through. Maxine swallowed a lump in her throat that felt the size of Pilot Mountain and stepped a little closer to the flames flickering brightly in the fireplace behind her. She fiddled with the ribs of her gray corduroy skirt. I'm only saying I can imagine what Evelyn went through. Pregnant, her heart in broken pieces, trying to avoid the whispers, pointing fingers, the dissection of her problems, the gossip from church folk. Did you know she's having a little girl? Though they weren't blood kin, Maxine and Evelyn Lester had considered each other family since middle school,